Hello, welcome to more live learning Haskell and streaming it on the internet. I'm going to pick up again today with the servant app that I've been writing and the persistent backend to store the data in Postgres. Last time I got all of the data moved over to Postgres, so I can now, all of the data, I've got two models, but I can store environments, like things like test and development and production, and then bookings against those environments. So that got moved over, but I'm not linking the two together very well. So when you get back an environment, it's supposed to calculate whether or not that's currently available. But it says it's available if there are no bookings, and it's booked if there are bookings. It doesn't look at the time, basically. So I'm going to fix that. And the other thing is that when you get back a single environment, it should list out all of the bookings for that environment. And that's not in place either yet. So that's my plan for today. Maybe tidy up the code a little bit as we go as well, because it's gotten to a bit of a mess. Okay, so let's take a look at this. This is the app as of last week. I just actually should make sure it's running. Should we start Docker maybe? Probably a good idea. Okay. And then here I should say stack run. It says it's running. It means it's connected to the database. Okay. And then here I can use curl to get back the environments, for example. Yeah, JQ. Okay, so we can see that we have two environments already set up, test and staging. They both show as being available. Okay, interesting. I thought one of them had bookings. Yeah, this should show as being booked, I think, unless I fixed that last week. Maybe I confused here. Environment 1 has got two bookings. Is that right? Yeah. Okay, the book shows being available because I haven't done the availability thing, I guess. Okay, I got a bit of a problem with my data, so I've got booking from and duration, but actually what I should be doing is adding the seconds on to booking from to get the booking to, like the end time of the booking, because then I can just get Postgres to say is now in between these two times, and that will work out whether or not the booking is active, we say. Okay, so to do that, oops. So I'm going to go to my database. So many imports. Okay, we have start time, but let's also add end time, which is a UTC time. We don't really need the duration, but I'll leave it in there anyway. When we are creating the booking, so much code in here. Create booking. We pass in the ID, which is the ID of the environment, and then we pass in the booking, which is the DAO model, which means I need to go here. That's okay. Sorry, the data you provide, the booking from and the duration. That's okay. It's when we are inserting it that in this position, I'm going to need the booking too. Based on B is the thing that was passed in, the data that was specified. So you can say where, and then booking 2, we'll give it a type. It's going to take a DAO booking. I get it right eventually. DAO booking. No, not that. Don't do that. That was unhelpful. going to take a DAO booking and it's going to return a UTC time. So booking 2, some booking is booking from, but we need, so the booking from a B, which is in the DAO. Plus the seconds. And there's a way of adding seconds on. I can't remember what it was. Have I commented that anywhere? I don't seem to have that hanging around, which is a shame. Any more commented that code? No. Okay. I might go look this up. So I want something that goes from a UTC time and some seconds and returns another UTC time. I think I have a helper for doing Hugel. I do not. Spotlight show. What's that do? Search anything. Okay. So I'm going to go from UTC time to an int, probably. Oops. To a UTC time. That's super unhelpful. No. Okay. It's not that. Let me just click on this, see if it opens in the browser. Add UTC time. Takes a nominal diff time and a time returns a time. A length of time. Conversion function such as from integer will treat it as seconds. Okay, so I could probably go int to UTC time to UTC time. So I can say add UTC time. I think give it the seconds and then the time, and then it should return another time. Let's find out how that works. Okay, so I can say get the seconds out. So we have a helper for that. So DAO.seconds B plus, oops. Oh, sorry, it's not that. It wasn't plus, it was add UTC time, wasn't it? Add time? Add UTC time. So this and this. Okay, and then can we just import this? Yes. Okay, couldn't match type int with nominal diff time. Is that as simple as saying from integral? From integer, sorry. Not quite. Couldn't match type int with integer. Expected integer got int. From integral. Okay. Right, so in theory now, if I create a booking, it should store the end time as well. Not the end times, but just the time the booking finishes. Let's see how that works. Get this back. So we go here and stop this. Can we stop this? Yes, it didn't focus properly. Okay, I run this. It should do the migration, I think, when it's compiled. It's so slow. It's not even a complicated application, it just takes a long time. Okay. So it defaults to not null, but there are existing entries in there which don't have an end time. So I guess there are two things. One, I could make it optional. But then I don't really want to be optional going forward. I just code with existing data. That would be a bit messy. You give it a default, but I don't know what default should be. Or I could delete the data that we have in there, which is probably what I'm going to do, to be honest. What's this called? Booking? No, booking singular. Yes. Just say truncate. Okay. Now let's try running the application. Look at that, it worked this time. Okay, so if I can find some SQL to create a booking. So here, our booking from, I'll set this to be today. Will I? Yes, 03/24. And we'll do it 10 o'clock, I guess. And duration 1 hour. And we'll do it, we can do it into environment 2, that's fine. Okay. Interesting that we got back. It doesn't say booking 2 in the thing we got back. I wonder if that's, I wonder why that is. I wonder how that data is coming back. If I have a look at the bookings here, it's also only got booking from. Okay, that's not what I was hoping for. Because we're returning a maybe DAO booking. Right. I guess I can see if it actually worked. So did we put it in the database? Select star from booking. It did. It got the right time. So start time is 9 o'clock. The duration is 1 hour, and the end time it calculated properly. So that's good. But it's not in the data that we're returning. Do I want to add that, or? And part of me is thinking that we could return this instead. Can we do this? Can we just return the booking? We can. No. And that. Okay, I might try running that, see if it works. Ooh, I have an error. Okay, oh, because in main I haven't told it that I'm returning something different. So it's actually up here when I'm saying create the booking, it should be returning, oops, booking, but it should be db.booking. which, am I exporting that? I am not. Okay. Now I've got two errors. Obviously getting better. So up here I need to change the type to be appm of db.booking. That might be all my errors gone. Yes, it is. Okay, cool. Okay. So run this again. Maybe. Okay. I go back to here and just ask it for the bookings. Oh, that's showing the bookings. I didn't do that one. Okay. Let's do that as well. So when we say list the bookings, this should be returning db.booking. List bookings should be db.booking. And now this type is wrong coming back from db. So where have we got list bookings here? I'm going to change this to return just a booking. Okay, what did we do here? All right, I'm just going to be a bit lazy. We can return entity booking. And then I can just return pure bookings. And it's going to say, I don't need this. I can just, will it do it for me? Yes. Do I even need to do it that time, that point? To know. All this stuff, I'm going to comment it out because I might want to steal some of it later. We'll see. Can I get rid of do? Yes. And can I either reduce it? Yes. There we go. Okay. So all this does now is it finds all of the bookings where the ID is this ID, sorry, the environment ID is this one, and does it in descending order from the start time of the booking. That makes sense. Okay, I still have one error left, so let's go and jump to that. So this is actually a list of entity booking. Now, up here, I said it's db.booking, but confusion all around. Too many things with the same name. This is entity of db.booking. Okay, I'll clean this up in a minute. I say that every week. I probably never clean stuff up, but I have good intentions. Okay. Focus. Okay, try it again. So there we go. We've got start time and end time now, and they are correct, which is nice. Not very nicely formatted, but they're correct. Easy to parse, I guess. They are nicely formatted, but just formatted for machines. Okay, so that's all cool. And then we go back to, oops, environment 1 and put the queue back at the end. There are no bookings. Okay, let's create a booking, which is against environment 1. And I'll do it for, I'll do two bookings. I'll do one that's in the past and has expired. There we go to 23rd 3rd. That was yesterday. And then one that's for the future. So I can do like the 29th. Okay, so now we've got 2 bookings, but none of them are now. So we get that environment back. It says it's booked, which is a lie. And we get environment 2 back. It says it's booked, which is true. So let's make those work. So down here, I can't remember what the endpoint is for this. So get environment, just get environment is what I want. So it's get environment with bookings. Is that right? So get environment with bookings always puts in available. What's the endpoint that uses this? Oh, it's on here. Okay, so available comes from there. Right. So we have we're getting back to bookings, and if there are any bookings, then we're saying it's booked. But if there are no bookings, then null bookings, then we're going to say it's available. I want to add an additional thing in here, but I don't quite know what I want to add. So it's going to be something like booking start time is before now and booking end time is after now. That's what I want to do. So can we first of all split this over multiple lines? I don't know how it's going to get formatted, but I can let the formatter worry about that. Okay, so let's try that. Okay, so booking start time is, can I pass in raw SQL? Because I'd like to do it just by using the now function in Postgres rather than calculating the time. But I could also calculate the time. Let's find out. So if we go up to here, is there anything in here? There's something about comparisons. Not uniqueness, not fetching ID, select functions. It gives some examples, but I don't know. I don't know what the full list is. The options. Let me give it a string, will it just pass it through to SQL as a function to run? Where's the code gone? Don't minimize. Right. So it's less than or equal to dot. Oops. Can I say literally now? Is string etc time? No. Can I get now out of it? We're running under IO, so I can use time functions. To the time, get me back there. No. I want to go back up. package time. I don't want the types. I don't want this. I just want now. What's local time going to give me? Oh, I want something that just gives me now. That's not it. Oh, I don't want all the types. I want something more useful. I want something that doesn't take any arguments and just gives me UTC time. I want to marshal it. I just want to call it. Oh, this is annoying. Get current time. That's what I wanted. Get current time. Except that's not going to work, is it? Because it's IO UTC time. So I can say now is was it get UTC time or get current time? Get current time. Get current time. So booking start time is for now, and booking end time is greater than or equal to dot now. Cool, that formatted it for me properly. Right, let's see if that just works. There are no errors, so let's give that a go. So in this case, we should expect environment 1 to be available and environment 2 to be booked. Okay, let's give that a go. So environment 1 is available, environment 2 is booked. Oh my god, genius. Bookings. Cool. There was a thing before where I got back the bookings when you looked at environment, but I'm not sure it was necessary. What if I look at all the environments? They are hard-coded to be available. Okay, we can fix that though, because we have this is available. So what does that take? That's okay, it needs to do this connection, it needs the ID of the environment. Okay, oops, sorry, let's create get environment with bookings. It's available. Where's list environments? List environments. Call to end with status. And this is the one that's hard coding it to be available. Okay, so we will pass in that. And first one will be cool. We called it column here for some reason. Okay. And then, oops. we can say available. Actually, we don't need to do that. We can say available is, I can't remember what the function's called. I was there a second ago. Is available takes the key and it takes pull in the key. So yeah, I can say is available pull and the key. Now this is a bit of a mess, so I can say the ID of E is available takes pull and a list of statuses. No, sorry, it takes a pull in and an IOM status. Oh, okay. So I do need to worry about that, and I need. So I now need to run this under IO basically. And then we can say available comes from this thing. And this would need to be pure. And this no longer needs to be pure. You can be unpure. Okay. So env status now goes to the pool, the environment. So we're mapping over the M's to get that. Copure. I bet there is a copure. It's there is a copure, obviously. It's also return. It is, I can't remember. Some point we'll get to comonads, but not tonight. So this returns IOM, and this needs to be an IO list of envs. Right. Tricksy. So the problem is, I think, that we want IO list of envs. We end up with a list of IOMs. How do you do this? There's a way of doing this. What is it? It's going to be something control monad, and it's going to be something like mapping, but I don't know exactly what it is. What's the type I'm looking for? So I want to go from, we're going to have IO list of A. No, sorry, we're going to have a list of IOA, and we want to go to an IO list of A. Wow. Sequence. Whoops. If I do each action sequence from left to right, collecting results. So can I just say sequence and then what I had before? Would that work? sequence that. Huh. Searching for types is cool. Okay, there might be a better way of doing this to avoid ending up with a list of IOAs. But for now, let's see if this works, and then I can go and see if I can find a better way of doing it. Compiled, so that's good. So we get back all environments. Oh, it crashed. Did not crash. What happened there? I was just too quick. Oh, it worked. That's cool. Okay, so M1 is available, which is what we expected, and M2 is booked. Okay. I guess that's okay. So can I avoid this? This nested IO thing. So the type we really want is going to have an effect, right? Because it's IO. So monad M, and then just make sure this matches sequence. So I've got this right so far. Yeah, that matches sequence. Okay, so what we're going to have is a function which goes from A to MB. Is that right? Yeah, it's going to go from A to MB. And we're going to have a list of A's. And we want to end up with a list of M, list of B. No results found. Okay. And brackets won't help because it doesn't really matter. If I swap the order, would that help? So we got a list of A's, and that would go to list to this function. No. Okay. One final thing to check is what does mapm actually do? A to MB, TA, M to TB. Oh, fuck you. I was so close. I thought I had A to... Oh, to have A to list of MB. Yes, I did. Ah, that was a mistake. Okay, A to MB. It's back to the way I had it. So I've got A to MB. I have a list of A's, and I want to get M list of B's. Yeah, that is mapm. Okay, so can I use it? Mapm is equivalent to sequence map. And I've got sequence, and then my fmap is here. Okay, so it's not really going to help to write mapm, I don't think, but let's do it anyway. So this is our function, partially applied function, and that's our list of environments. Cool. Okay, I'm just going to make sure that still works. I think it's the same thing and it will compile, so that's a good sign. Or at least the language server hasn't found any problems with it, so it probably will compile. don't know if writing map m is any better than writing sequence and then the f map. It probably is. Okay, booked and available. Cool. And I guess just to double check it works, we could say create a booking against one, but I'll do it for today. Yeah, I'll do it from 24th. I'll do it from midnight. I'll do it for one day. Just to have something a bit different. And then we'll get back to environments. And now they're both booked. Cool. That's what we like. Okay. What will I do next? Let's commit that. So what I do here is fixes available for environments. I would normally explain that better, but I'm not going to now. Don't go there. Okay. What now? Maybe make the code less awful. So one thing I'm wondering is, let me just get rid of all the comments out of code because I don't think I need it. Yeah, I've got the bookings as well. I might rename this to not be end with bookings, but just get environments. Can I rename this? I have no help for renaming. Okay. Select all of them, change that to get environments. Nope, flip back to main. I'm gonna just call it get environments. Okay. So one thing I'm wondering is, can I take, I've split stuff up by saying here's the DB code, here's the DAO code, here is main, got everything else inside it. And I wonder if I can say here's all the booking related code, and here is all the what do I want to do? Here's all the booking related code, and here's all the environment related code. And ideally, I'd like to sort of move these roots into there as well. The trouble is it's nested, so it might get a bit awkward. But we could at least collapse it down the DB stuff, I guess. Let's just try it, see what happens, I guess. Okay, new file. Module environment. We won't explain anything yet. Where, and then we can say, let's call this source/environment.hs. Thanks for not noticing. Oh, here we go. Cool. Okay. Have I got no space on my screen for this? Let's find out. So we'll look at the DB here. It is interesting who would be the migrations. So first of all, could I drop this into here? But I won't call it migrate. Oh, I'll call it migrate environments. Okay. And to make all this work, I'm going to need to import a whole bunch of stuff. Let's start with that one. We'll work back and see which things break. It's not in scope sys lowercase, but it should be able to import this, right? Except if I'm trying to compile and trying to run compile time code. Okay, I probably also need type families and untitled instances, but let's find out. That's obviously not enough. Build it, see what it says. Okay, we'll still build it. I haven't told it about this module yet. Okay, let me just go to the cabal file, and in our library up here, we can also export environment, expose environment. Okay, and then if I build it again, what's going to happen here? Okay. It is deeply upset. Quasi quotes. What do you reckon this one is? From classes, this. Shall I just grab them all, and then we'll see which ones we can delete before it breaks. Still not happy? I know it's more happy. I don't know which of the language extensions I actually need. And it also, because the language server is broken, it's not going to import this for me. Can I restart? Give it a second. No, it just can't cope with it for some reason. Okay, I will pull in this. And that might be enough. Maybe Relude, because I'm importing that anyway. Okay, run the compiler again. Oh, I want to add it to database persist th. Okay. Probably make persist as well. All of these things I think I'm going to need. I don't know where this comes from. Where does this come from? Defined in persist th. Okay, that compile yet? Share as well. Ooh, something's changed because it has now worked out what's going on. Okay, good stuff. somehow. So it was, I think its language server doesn't support template Haskell, so it was getting upset in a way that it couldn't suggest a fix for it. Okay. So here, if I delete that from here, I will export environment from here. I will stop this and this. Okay. Environment ID, is it uppercase D? No, lowercase d. Okay, and then I'll import them here. So import environment. And we'll pull in environment and environment ID. Okay. Ish. So data construction not in scope, environment string blah. Perhaps I meant DAO.environment, and I don't, and I'm wondering why it's not imported this, or why it's not using this. Interesting. If I move this, if I try and move this over, it's going to be a pain. But that's my ultimate aim, so let's give that a go. So I want to have something called create environment. And I'm not going to take DAO environment, I'm going to take I'm going to call it create environment. Why is it taking the pool as the second argument? I'm pretty sure it should be taking the pool as first argument. So that, and it's going to take the create environment, and we're going to return, what are we returning here? Maybe DAO environment, but there's nothing interesting in the thing that we're returning, is there? Like available won't be interesting. So we could just return entity environment at this point. Not a list, just a single one. Okay, so entity we can import from persist, pool super backend. We can import these. Is it data pool? I think it was. And then that from persist. Okay, and then create environment. I'm just going to get rid of the window. Create environment is create environment. I find this bit of Haskell a bit noisy. What are we going to use when we create environment? It'll only be a name, which is going to be a string, I guess. Deriving, show, and some other stuff. Should we use new type instead? Why not? Okay. So we're going to drive show. I'll just go and grab the other stuff from the DAO. So basically what I'm trying to do is create the bits of this that I need just for the creation part. And then I will return I'll return the database representation of the environment after it's been created, which I think is going to look the same, but anyway. So get rid of this. We derive equal shown generic. We have an instance of that, and we'll have it from JSON instance as well, but we can just use the default one here because we don't have any fanciness with availability or maybes. Okay, so that comes from here, and that comes from there. Okay, so now we have two models, one representing the data in the database, the other one representing the data that's passed in to create something. This type I'm actually going to replace with db pool. I need to create. So I might create, unfortunately I already have a classical module called db, but that's what I wanted that with, I think, with some db helpers. Maybe not, actually. I'll fix that later. Let's move stuff over bit by bit. So create environment. Just thinking actually about in main here, so this this create environment. I mean, all it's doing is it's pulling dbcon out of appm, which has got the config in it, and then it's running the create under lift.io. So I could actually do this. If we could get access to appm, then I could try that if appm existed, and then I wouldn't need this. Right, so it would now be the same signature as this, basically, but with slightly different types. And then the implementation could be something like, well, where's the actual implementation? So this is what we want. So we'll call this E. Oh, stupid namespacing. So I need to call this, I need to give this a unique name. Oh, I might have to spell it out. I'll regret it if I don't. Okay, so I'd need to fix appm. Let's create a file for this. So we can say module application, and we're going to export appm where, and then we will save it as application.hs. Kind of unhelpful. It suggests the first line is the file name. So I can run. Okay. I'll add the Cabal file before I forget. Okay, go back to main. I can grab this definition. So we can do, oops, that one and that. And then reader T comes from yeah, just put them from Prelude, I guess. Okay. We might need to export the app config as well. And then handler. So where does handler come from? No definition found for handler. This is magic. Does it come from servant? Can it just be M? Because it feels a bit like this type shouldn't care about what the M is here. It should just say we'll take something like a handler and we'll run it under reader, basically. And then we should up here we got the run reader T. I might leave that in place for now. Okay. So I should, in theory, be able to import application, and we're going to pull in appm and app config. Get rid of these. And we have a lot of errors, but no errors in here. Okay. So back to here, we should be okay. I don't think I need that. It hasn't got a whole bunch of constructors. I main, where do we create the config? Here. That should be okay, I think that's okay. So we go back to here. Can we import application? And we're going to pull in appm. Cool. So now we can say pull is asks dbcon. Okay. So let's fix these things up. We are going to call create environment name E on that pool. Just shorten that to get, will we? Yeah, let's shorten to get. We will not, it's ambiguous. Go on then. Import that. Okay, and now I want to return into the environment. I mean, why not just return maybe environment? And then just return result of this. Because I'm just taking nothing to nothing. That's not very helpful, is it? can I make derived instance? We need derived generic. Do I not have derived generic? I thought I had all of the language extensions. I do not. I'm missing one. Okay. So this monad that gets passed in has to be something of type monad.io, because we're going to use it in a second. This is maybe too many brackets here. Okay. So dbcon, we should be able to import this. No, we cannot. Okay, let me go back to application. So app config is the one that's got dbcon inside it. So can we now import it from app config? Application, there we go. Okay, so we get our connection back. Run SQL pull, we can just do that. We can also import this. Ooh, persist store insert. No, it has to do persist. Could it match type? Environment with entity environment. Expected reader T application config m maybe entity environment. Got reader T application app config m maybe environment. Okay, cool. I don't need the entity then for this query. That should be good. Okay, and now we should do our lift.io thing. So we should be able to say lift.io of this. That gives us back an ID. And what are we doing here? Gives us back an ID, and then we're getting the environment back out again if it has been persisted. Okay. That was kind of fun. I'm going to stop now because time's getting on, but plan for next week, I guess, is to keep doing this, right? To pull all the environment related code together. So that I don't have this mess of some stuff in the DAO, some stuff in DB, some stuff in the main application, but rather we have a file that's got all of the code to do environments, and we can split it up later if it gets too long. All of the code that's to do with bookings, and then main, which should really just be about bootstrapping the application. Might create a new file called API, which sort of pulls all the API stuff together. So that's the plan for next week. Yeah, cool. Thanks for watching, and hopefully see you next week. Goodbye.